What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Dima SWV Music. So, of course, you brothers have been sending me this story about Bill Gates' daughter. Is it Phoebe? I don't know how you pronounce her name, but Phoebe Gates. And she has a black boyfriend. I don't know if he is African American, but she is in an interracial relationship. Okay. And of course, they are both students at Stanford University. Now, of course, Bill Gates was formerly the richest man in the world, and I believe is still top 3 or 4. Awesome job at Microsoft. Most of us grew up on Windows 95, and then obviously on Xbox, and then some of you, you had classes on Windows Teams towards the end of my medical school career. So Bill Gates is a trendsetter. He's a maverick in the tech space, and he's also very smart himself. He went to Harvard and dropped out. But this black man also goes to Harvard. And of course, when I'm looking at this, I see this here Twitter post, Happy Black History Month from Bill Gates' daughter and her man. And of course, the boyfriend is Robert Ross, and they've been together for 2 years. But I want to talk a little bit about brother Robert Ross, because here's where the rubber will meet the road. What are you talking about, O'Shea? Well, a slew of young black men or younger black men like him are going to have different experiences than the black men that came up like us. And some of you black men that grew up in the 80s or 90s, we grew up in the National Baptist Church and the devotion service and the Dr. Watts and the hooping and the hollering, the Church of God in Christ shouting, and, the barbecue dinners and the fish fries. We had a very strong black experience. And some of us got a chance to go to predominantly white institutions, and then some of us who lived in the black cities, the St. Louis's, the Detroits, the Jackson, Mississippi's, the Atlantas, we came back. And of course, we still lived a very black experience. Some of us found big opportunities in our own community. Some of us didn't. But what I'm seeing for some of the younger guys, and this is what I believe is the reality, a lot of these younger guys, like the Bronny James of the world, LeBron's son, they will not live the experience like us. And during Black History Month, where many of our ancestors did such a great job fighting for us, they are not in tune with that message. And I don't know where the guy's from, if he's African American or not, but as these black men are more affluent, they're getting more and more away from our culture and the history of our people, unless they're in the black debutante world, the Jack and Jill world. And I have a lot of respect for Jack and Jill people. Shout out to you. But what I've noticed is that a lot of these black men are trying to get away from black America. And to be honest, these black men, there are not many young black women that they find to be compatible. What do I mean? Now, you have black women at Stanford, at Howard, at Hampton. But if you look at this guy, he is not the kind of black man that I think that black women are interested in. He's not the kind of black man that black women feel would be a masculine young man. He doesn't look like the cool, charismatic brother. He don't look like that. He's a smart guy. He's probably a very intelligent guy, but he don't look like he's the kind of guy that can hold a black woman's attention in the kind of community that we need come from. And I'll tell you this: don't let it fool you that black women who go to Harvard, Stanford, Howard University, that they're interested in a geeky guy. Some of them are. Here's what I found out. A lot of black women that go to PWI's great universities and schools, they liked some of the same things that women in the urban black communities liked. They liked black men who were funny, black men who were tall, charismatic, and who other girls felt attractive. And if you're not a black man like that, man, you're going to pay. So the guy like him, black women are not going to really be interested in. He kind of doesn't have a choice. He has to be with somebody like Phoebe Gates. Here's another thing. If he goes that route, even though, listen to what I'm saying, even though he goes that route, he might get a black woman, but he'll have to really look. Going with Phoebe Gates, a white woman who's probably gonna be more feminine, he'll be criticized because he didn't try hard enough to deal with somebody that's black. A woman who might not feel that he's cool enough or exciting enough, and he didn't prove himself, being friend zoned and all of that, right? And so now when you see these guys during Black History Month, with their white women and showing off their white women and all that, and they're not coming back to our community, and what we expect in Black America is for these guys to come back and deal with whatever is going on out there, or deal with women who are probably not interested in them. Then what do you expect? What do you expect? What do you expect? I'll tell you what you expect. You expect foolishness, because these guys are not coming back. These guys are not coming back to be second fiddle when they can deal with somebody at Stanford. They can deal with somebody that's going to treat them nice, that's going to, treat them nice out the gate. They ain't got to get friend zoned and come out. And I'm not saying it's true for all women, but like I said, if you're not a cool guy, you're not a masculine man, right? To a lot of sisters. And these guys know that. They're not dumb. They know most talented black men who are not exciting or who are not just the richest guy on the block, they know they don't have a chance with most black women. They know it. We don't want to talk about that, but they know it. And what we want to do is we want these guys to suffer until they get it right. I get it, because I'm that kind of person that'll suffer until I get it right. But everybody ain't me. Everybody don't love Black America or love black people like I do. So when you see the brother going out here saying, hey, you love me, and like I said, it's hard for you to even get a sister to even post you on the Insta, even if you're smashing her. Y'all, and she might tell you she love you behind the scenes. She damn sure ain't gonna post you on Instagram because she worried about what her friends say about you. You love him? Girl, why you love him? And so she can't do that because she's ashamed of your dusty ass. That's the case. We don't want to talk about that being the case, but it is the case. Such that now you're seeing these new black men who have a different experiences. Some of them are not coming up from the same era as our parents. My mother came up partly in the Jim Crow South. I grew up in the West Coast. My mother graduated college or was in college in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement. I came up during baggy jeans when in the 95, all right, when Tupac was still alive and Death Row was coming up and the Penny Hardaways was out and Chris Webber was going around, dunking on Charles Barkley and things like that. You had Keith Murray and lyricists, and you had Wu-Tang Clan, you had ODB, you had RZA, you had Dre, you had D'Angelo. That's how I came. I didn't come up in the same way that my mom came up. We came from two different worlds. And now these black men that are coming up today, they're coming up in a different world than I came up, because I still came up in a largely all black world. Even in Sacramento, I grew up in Depas Heights, like 60% black neighborhood. I went to the black churches. I went to a black high school. That ain't the case now. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.